I had a great evening last night because I watched all of these movies, all of these short films, back to
Thank you.
back to back to back to back to back. And they were fantastic. And yours struck me because there is so much said about the, what is it, like the model immigrant or the model minority, and the way just people who are othered have to stay in line in ways that other people just don't have to. And at some point you have, I mean, my video editor can bleep this, but you can only eat so much shit. I don't know, tell me a little bit about was that something that you were thinking about when you were writing?
Right, exactly. Thank you. So yeah, definitely. For me, that ending song is about owning your voice and owning, your true self through rebellion, right? Because, like for a lot of us, I'm a Chinese, right? And coming to the US for high school, for a lot of us, in the beginning, we're trying to fit in, we're trying to assimilate. But then start you throughout that journey, you started to realize the differences. Um, and you're afraid to admit the differences. You're trying to erase the differences. But then at one point you're gonna recognize that, that's who you are. And you can erase that. And nobody can erase that. And for other people to recognize you, the only way is for yourself to accept yourself first, and then you can be able to share your story and raise your own voice.
Yeah, there's, assimilation in some ways is just the American immigrant trajectory, but also there has to be some, line and personal integrity with what parts of your culture do you keep and which do you have to, abandon or leave behind. And sometimes it's fine and sometimes it's very difficult, especially under pressure. I don't know if it's not too personal of me to ask. Do you ever find yourself feeling like you're not as respectful to your roots as you would like to be, or that you have been, or that you would like to be? I don't know.
Always. I felt, I I grew up always moving from place to place. I was born in the Gobi Desert area of China, which is a very rural place. And then I moved to the southern coast of China, right next to Hong Kong, where they speak Cantonese. And I didn't know how to speak Cantonese. I only spoke Mandarin. Um, and then I moved to New York, Boston, and then to LA. And then now I'm back to China. I'm in Beijing right now. So the more I moved, the more I just felt lost. Like especially a lot of people, like when you first met someone, so people will ask you, where are you from? And such a simple question, I just don't know how to answer that, right? Like I have my roots in the Gobi Desert, but I really don't remember much about that place. And like I speak Cantonese, I speak Mandarin, but then what does that really mean in my own identity? I'm always lost. And I'm always, like what you're saying, I'm always afraid that by moving to a new place, I may lose, what I originally had. Um, but then through, like right now, actually with film for me is kind of like a therapy, which is, like I started to embrace this feeling of feeling lost. And, that kind of become the theme in all my movies, like trying to figure out my own identity, trying to figure out where you belong, you know.
Well, I guess that search for identity is the identity, and this movie is, that document for that for you, and for a lot of people who watch it. And it's gorgeous. You don't need me to tell you. Thank you so much, and whatever you do next, I hope I get to talk to you for that too.